Hello there guys, it's me Unstable Voltage and welcome to episode 22 of Civilization 5. This is the one city challenge as Venice. The war with Greece still rages on. We've just started work on the Apollo project. I am trying to take out Athens before I peace out, simply because Alexander seems to be so far ahead in score and power. Admittedly, I do feel like I am neglecting some of the other things, but there's not an awful lot that I can do with my city at the moment, other than just continue to wait for things to get produced and wait for various sciences and things. We've got to be really careful at the moment, because one of the big issues that I have right now is that I'm over my force limit, and this is a problem that you have if you only have a single city. Not a lot of people realise that the force limit even exists, but there's only a certain amount of units that you are allowed to have based on, I think it's the number of cities that you have or your total population. I don't exactly remember the figure, but obviously playing a single city challenge means that we are quite limited in the force limit that we have, and if you go over that force limit you do get quite a penalty, although I did think that the penalty was actually in combat efficiency as opposed to anything else. We've managed to kill a Greek spy, which is fantastic. Let's go ahead and kill that Greek infantry as well. So you can find your force limit if you open the info panel, go to the unit list and click on the military overview, and you can actually see that our total supply is 22. Total supply generated 22, in use is 28, which means we're actually on -6. So, you know, the number of cities you have, the amount of population you have, gives you more supply. So single city is always going to make that very, very difficult. Most of what I have is literally aircraft. Sorry, not aircraft. Is literally naval with one aircraft and one machine gun. But I can't really afford to reduce my numbers of units down any more than this. That would be a little bit silly. Just trying to get this ironclad around to the front. Looks like my battleships are still quite safe at the moment. Now, they did have a battleship in Athens, which they were using to counter-bombard. But it's not the end of the world right now. We are doing a fair bit of damage to Athens, but it's taking a while for it to go down, but it's also going to take a while for us to get our ironclad around there anyway, so I'm not too worried about that too much. We also have a destroyer on its way up that is going to perform a similar role. I've also got two great admirals, which appear to be completely useless and just going around in the wrong... Okay. Looks like we're going to lose a great admiral. I didn't realise that these guys were down here, so I'm definitely going to have to go and deal with them. May possibly be able to reach one with a bomber. Doesn't quite have the range. We can upgrade it, but it isn't going to be able to attack on this turn. So potentially there I have lost an admiral. It was my own fault for moving him too far too fast. They may not directly try and attack him though. We might be okay there. Let's just go back to our research. We're still working on telecommunications. There's not an awful lot that these submarines can do, so I'm just going to have a little bit of an explore with them and see what's around. Get them in position to deal with any more ships that might come out of Athens. You guys are just going to sit and wait, because there's nothing more to be done. And we shall go on into the next turn. Enemy is near. Getting bombarded by their aircraft, which is absolutely fine if they want to start trying to bombard a destroyer, because destroyers have interception. Destroyers can actually take down aircraft quite easily. It has lost some of its health, but yeah, their aircraft probably lost more. You want a research agreement? I'm going to accept. I've certainly got the money. Don't mind giving you the coal. Have plenty of that. And anything that's going to help us out with research is always good. You want a research agreement or two. Don't want to give you open borders, so how about we just do that? Fine. If you want open borders, then I'll give you the open borders. I'm just trying to avoid open borders because I don't want any... what do we call it? Ideological pressure coming in. I don't want any tourism pressure put upon myself. Though I'm not too worried. I've got plenty of happiness. Even if we didn't have the favoured ideology, I can just sort of tank out any unhappiness issues we might have, so I don't care about that too much. As I said, the reason I'm going for Athens isn't because I'm necessarily going for a domination victory, but if it does turn out that a domination victory is what we need to go for, I figure we'd be better off taking Athens now than going back to war with them later on. We are in the information era. We have a promotion on a battleship. I think I'm actually going to... I might actually... Do I just give you the instant heal? I think I'm going to use the instant heal on this one. And you're going to come around here and provide some additional bombard from this direction. Just trying to make sure that we can get the ironclad around safely. Still no more naval units have been produced over here. So it means that, well, they could either put an artillery or a rocket artillery in Athens, or a battleship. Either of those would have a range of 3 and be able to hit us. Oddly enough, they didn't try and take out my Great Admiral, which I am really surprised by. Which does mean that we can attempt to take a shot. Unfortunately, I am out of range of both. I could move 1 hex further forward, but then I wouldn't be able to take a shot. And I didn't want to do that, so let's just move the Admiral on to you right now. The other Admiral is going to make his way around this way. Should be safe enough. I do have 2 bombers now, so I am going to use these bombers to attack these ships. I could sink either of them. Might as well sink the one that is on full health. So there's 1 down. We could get another bomber, but I don't really think we need to do that. This worker has finished whatever he was doing. Don't want to put him on this tile here, because then he is susceptible to the bombard from the frigate. So you may as well go over here and build another trading post. Let's just have a look at our tile allocation at the moment. Again, everything that is being worked seems to make sense right now. So I think we'll pretty much keep every tile as they are. We are close to a great merchant and a great artist. I keep forgetting to take that one out of the writers guild and put you in the artist guild. Let's return to the map. Units need orders. What are you doing? Why did I put you here? Oh, you're my destroyer, aren't you? So you're going to continue your way around. Like I said, if they want to keep firing at a destroyer, let them. Because destroyers have... Where are we? Interception 40. Not as good as the interception that you would have on a missile cruiser, for example. I think missile cruisers have... Where are we? Whoop. Missile cruisers have interception 100. Yeah, missile cruisers are really, really good against aircraft, but still, it does the job. We have a new spy. Alexander is building the Manhattan Project. What are we going to do with our new spy? Melbourne, we already have somebody in. We can't really do an awful lot with Yerevan and Milan. I mean, we could move somebody in there, I suppose, and try and oust them. Although he does have a massive amount of influence with both of them. I suppose we could go and spy on one of the other civilizations. We are still the tech leader, so it's difficult to know who would be good to spy on. I don't necessarily think we're going to get anything out of anyone else. Technically, you would think it is Alexander because he is the highest on the list. Next after that, it is the Shoshone. So what we should probably do, if possible, is move you into... where are we? Why can't I see... the Shoshone. Mosankani. Not a lot of potential, but let's move you in there as a spy. The Mosankani only have, like, the 1 city now. I can't see much of their land at all, really. Maybe it's just... maybe they've got a little bit more that I just can't see, but it was only giving me one actual city with them. In fact, there is a way I can find that out, and I'm happy it's come up with that unit movement there, because I can go and talk to you, and I can go on to trade, and I can... They don't have any tradable cities, wow. So Mosankani are potentially right down to their very last city, because they don't have any tradable cities. Yet they're still number 2 in score. How can they be number 2 in score and only have a single city? Diplomacy overview, global politics, the Shoshone. Yeah, look how many. They have the Great Library, the Pyramids, the Great Wall, Angkor Wat, Hijimi Castle, Taj Mahal, Wow. I really, really need to think about going to war with the Shoshone. Moss and Carney's on the coast as well, so it wouldn't be hard to take. But we need to finish our war with Alexander before we can do anything else. You guys are all just going to sit around and do nothing. I could, of course, now upgrade them to nuclear submarines. Can't do that on this turn, of course, because, well, can't do that for a few turns because they are not in my territory, but that's not the end of the world. So we definitely need to take Alexander down a peg or two. Taking out Athens would certainly do that. Then after that, I think we will go after Pocatello. Brussels election rigged. All good. They're still friendly with us anyway. Who's that you've got attacking you there? It's a Greek privateer. Oh, well, I don't think there's going to be much of a problem with that. Melbourne election rigged. Melbourne has now declared war on Alexander. Brilliant. So we have managed to flip Melbourne over. It was friendly before. Now it's allied. United Nations has been done. This is for choosing the host. We have the most people by a long shot. So we're going to put ourselves forwards as host. And commit delegates. Units needing orders and all that other sorts of good stuff. We need to get this destroyer round. Keeping out of range of Sparta. If we get here, we will be out the range of Sparta. That's fine. We've got another battleship that we can take around this way. Our ironclad is going to move closer so that it can potentially nab Athens on a single turn. I think if we move that sub in one, we can move you in one. The sub is still out of range of Athens, so that's fine. Again, a little bit more bombard damage from these guys. Hopefully, if they get another upgrade, because some of them are quite close to getting logistics, which means they'll be able to fire twice per turn, which is another reason why I really, really want to keep them alive. I don't want them to get killed when they're so close to getting logistics. We still have that frigate there. I'm not going to waste my movement with my battleship in destroying that, so we're just going to go straight in with our bomber and take that out. I could get a couple more trade routes going, but I don't see the point. While we're at war, there's still a very high chance that trade routes will end up getting plundered. So what I may as well do at the moment is just keep them as they are. You are going to do nothing for the rest of that turn. I am going to move the other Great Admiral up as well. You're trying to come through in a weird way, but that's because you're being blocked by this galleass. Hopefully you'll get out of your way. So do nothing for now. Another unit needs orders. Of course, it's just submarines that are sitting around idle. Ironclad sit around idle. And let us go on to the next turn. We're not doing too bad against Athens, as all things considered. It's down to half of its health. It looks like it has a cargo ship there now it's just produced. If that cargo ship tries to come out of here, it should automatically get defensive patch. Yeah, you want to keep that defensive patch going. I'm going to say no at this point because I think it's unlikely that anyone's going to declare war on myself, and I am going to probably want to have a chunk bitten out of Sweden at some point. And it's not like it's going to bring him back into this war anyway. And plus of which, if I then accept that pact and then go to war with the Shoshone, it'll break the defensive pact anyway. So it seems like it's a little bit pointless in me doing that. So we have become the host, which is fantastic. We've got another promotion. Still good on happiness. Still fairly good on money. I think I'll wait for some spices and furs. I'll wait for the AI to come to me and redo these deals. It won't be too much of a problem. So let's do what we need to do, which is to do another round of bombardment to Athens. Nobody managed to get a promotion on this turn. Unfortunately, you don't get very much XP at all from taking pot shots at a city. So it takes quite a while on city bombardment to actually get the XP that you need. So we do have a unit promotion on our bomber. We're going to give it air targeting 2, which will give it even more damage against naval units, which will be fantastic. Maybe we can even end up getting this thing with logistics at some point. You can heal up because there's nothing else that you need to do. Destroyer has managed to... Oh, I see. Well, I'm not too bothered about dealing with those. All those guys are going to do is go around and try and harass Brussels, which isn't really a problem to me. I think we'll just leave that battleship there. You are going to escort the destroyer. There's our other admiral, who at least can get out of there now because the place isn't being blocked by that Swedish ship. And we are going to escort our admiral forwards. Obviously, the battleship can move one space further because we have the ability to give it the extra movement from something. I can't remember what it was that we have now, but we do have an extra movement. Don't think we got the Great Lighthouse. No, because Shoshone have the Great Lighthouse. I'll definitely be wanting to get that as soon as possible. Let's carry on and going to Delhi. That's why the money's dropped quite a bit, because we've got a couple of cargo routes there that have actually timed out. So you can carry on going back to where you were. Not going to mess around micromanaging those too much at the moment. Is there anything that we can purchase right now? We could purchase a bomb shelter. I think it's very, very unlikely that we are going to get nuked, but I can build it, so I might as well build it. I have 7,000 gold, and I'm still making almost 500 gold per turn. You want to give me aluminium, which I don't need, and open borders, which I don't need, for spices. Do I have a spare spices? I don't have a spare spices to trade anyway, or do I? You know, it's not showing me spices. Yes, I do have a spare spices. You don't have any money. So I'm going to say no. He's literally the lowest scoring player at the moment. You still want to make peace. At least now he's asking me for white peace. Last time he wanted to make peace, he was asking me for pretty much half of my cities in exchange. He isn't now. And again, our destroyer does a little bit more damage against that. Don't want to lose the destroyer either, although we are probably going to have to disband some of our army. Actually, no, I don't think we are. Our army's doing... Oh, our navy, I should say. Our navy's doing fine as it is, so I think we should just leave everything be. You don't have an awful... You do have a lot of gold. How much gold does it work? Is it 360? 327. Oh, he only has 327. Is it 300? Can't remember what it is now, because my mathematics is terrible. 30, 90, 180, 210 gold, and then we can get an extra couple of gold per turn out of him. Is it like 3 or 2 or something like that? Because 210 gold is the equivalent to 7 gold per turn for 30 turns. But if you get him to give you all the money up front, you can usually get the full amount, and then an extra little bit per turn. No. Okay, he hasn't willing to do that. But at least I got all the money in one lump sum. Which means if I went to war with him now, I'd stop giving him spices, but I already have all the money. So there are some times when that does work out to your advantage. They've produced a privateer now, which I feel is going to have some difficulty with my submarines. Just saying. Looks like we have ourselves some... Wow, Greek cavalry. Embarked Greek cavalry at that. Well, they're taking a risk going near Samarkand, but we're definitely going to see if we can deal with them. Oh, it's my turn, apparently. You go ahead and do that. What have we got then? Destroyer's taken another couple of hits, which I'm not exactly thrilled about, but there's not an awful lot I can do about it, so I'm not going to stress. Let us move up with this battleship. Let us definitely take out this privateer. How much damage can we do against Athens? Once again, probably still not enough on this turn to be able to take it out. I must admit, I am glad that I did the one city challenge, or that I'm doing the one city challenge, because it is a different and interesting way of doing things. Oh, they have a great admiral, and I'm just out of range. On the downside... It is a little bit boring when you only have one city to manage. It feels like you don't have an awful lot to do. Let us go ahead. Actually, I could have... I still can. I can bombard the Great Admiral, even if I can't... I mean, you can't capture them anyway. I could move on to the Hex and destroy it instantly if I could reach it. So might as well take the shot at it. Bomber is just going to go to sleep now, because it isn't actually required. In fact, it's going to go to sleep unless it can reach that cavalry. And it can. So let's go ahead and sink that. give it a little bit more experience. It's not too far off from getting another promotion as it is. There we go. Took 1 damage. I don't even think it got any experience from that. No, it didn't. Oh, that was a bit disappointing. Now, can you reach Athens if you need to on a single turn? Yes, you can. But if you try to take it on this turn, you'd get destroyed. So you're not going to do anything. Neither of these other 2 submarines. So on the next turn, and this isn't the next turn, this is just something that I've forgotten to move. Oh, yes, that other Great Admiral. On the next turn, we should be able to actually take it out. I think, I'm going to bring this Admiral back and put him back in my city, because I think we'll be able to deal with Athens on this turn. Got another bomber coming in, which is a little bit unfortunate. It's attacking my, it's actually attacking my battleship. My destroyer did get some shots off at it, though. So, taking a little bit more damage on a battleship. We could potentially move this battleship into this hex, and we'd be able to fire from a 4th battleship on this next turn. So I think we've definitely got enough firepower to take Athens, and then we're going to bring everybody back home for a potential war with the Shoshone. Now, one good thing that we do have, because we're on the single city challenges, Athens will automatically get raised. So we don't have to worry about keeping it and happiness problems. We don't have to worry about it being retaken. The worst thing that's going to happen is that Greece will just get another settler and drop it in the same place, which will give them a new city, and they will have access to most of the tile improvements, because obviously those tiles have already been upgraded, but they're obviously going to lose all of their great works and all of their wonders and stuff like that. Our destroyer's actually got a promotion here. It's tempted to give it the instant heal, but as I don't think the war's going to last all that long, I'm going to give it Coastal Raider, because that's mainly what it's going to be used for. So I'm going to go ahead with my max bombardment from all of our battleships. Now, we can't steal from the Shoshone. I'm not sure if there's anyone that we can steal with. Still don't have a lot of damage there, so I'm going to move this battleship up. Going to get another shot. That has taken it down to literally no hit points. So we're going to go in with the Ironclad. And Athens has fallen. So that should take Greece's score down. In fact, even though it has taken Greece's score down, they're still above myself and Genghis Khan. So they're still 3rd, even with the loss of their capital. But that's certainly going to hurt their culture output. Before we end, now that their city is gone, let's see if he is willing to peace out. So, negotiate peace. There's no point me taking any cities from him or anything like that. So I might as well see if he will give me all of his gold. And, I don't know, 7 gold per turn. Unacceptable. 5 gold per turn. 2 gold per turn. Will you just give me the flat out gold? Will you give me 200? Will you give me anything? Do I really need to destroy more of your cities? No. Will you give me 100 gold? Will you give me 50 gold? Will you give me anything? Okay, how about we just make white peace? Fine. At least now I'm not going to lose any units to him, which is the main thing. And I've also managed to capture or destroy Athens. So we can start bringing all of the units home. World ideology, autocracy. What do we have? I can't even remember now. It's been that long. Culture overview. Culture victory. Greece, autocracy. Venice is order. No, we want order. So autocracy we are going to nay. Hopefully it's enough to push it down. So we're going to nay on that. And commit all of our delegates. And then we are going to bring everybody else back home, assuming they can get home. At least going to bring them into friendly territory. Any units that need orders, just come on home. You're going to heal up. You're also going to come on home. You guys, you all need to get back to base as well. I may disband 1 or 2 of my naval units, but what I'm going to do is go through the ones that are the least experienced. This submarine, for example, has Wolfpack 3 already, so I certainly don't want to get rid of that. But if there's any that are sort of just Wolfpack 1, I may consider getting rid of them, and then the better ones we will upgrade. I think the upgraded units actually take more supply as well. But that's all I'm going to do in this video, so we will continue next time. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. I hope you are still enjoying the One City Challenge, and I'll see you on the next video. So until then, goodbye for now.